The effects of virtue and understanding on ourselves and others. Virtue and understanding have to do primarily with ourselves and with our relationship to the creative forces. They are reflected in our judgment of others. For our conduct is a reflection of our inner thoughts. To think nobly is to act nobly. It is a privilege to think, provided we think with a mind that is in tune with the ideal that is set in the Christ. We may compare the daily building of ourselves, mentally, physically, and spiritually, to the construction of a house. Are we choosing those attributes that will help our development? Are we casting aside the imperfect stones, using only the good? Are we placing them evenly in line? Are we ready to be passed on by the divine inspector? If we can answer these questions in the affirmative, then we are hastening our development toward God. The quality of the structure depends upon us and upon us only. We are building for ourselves either hovels or holy temples. No one liveth to oneself. How we live, act, and think not only is reflected in ourselves, but also has its effect upon others. As we put into practice love, mercy, justice, patience, and forgiveness, others catch the same spirit. This is illustrated by one who came in contact with those who had received spiritual cleansing. They made me better, she said, gave me back my living faith, instilled in me a desire to realize that God lives and is speaking through all people. They gave me hope and new interest in life. Before I met them, my worship was form. Afterwards it became more spiritual, and I began to reach out for the joy that seemed to be theirs. Finally, we know we have passed from death unto life because we love. We know that new life now courses through us, and that a new and strange peace is ours that makes us in accord with divine will. What we once despised now we cherish, and the world we formerly cherished now ceases to attract. We give thanks to God for this unspeakable gift of spiritual understanding, which is now ours through the cleansing power of the Holy Spirit. May the following words be ever upon our lips. Let virtue and understanding be in me. For my defense is in thee, O Lord, my Redeemer. For thou hearest the prayer of the upright in heart. Then it may be said, study thou in thy mental, in thy spiritual self to show thyself approved unto him. For thou knowest the way, thou hast heard, thou hast seen, yea, thou hast tasted of the Lord, and hast found him good. Well has the entity chosen those services from the soil, for he that is close to nature, he that is close to the manifesting of life in its primitive form, and in its subjugative mind, keeps close to that way, wherein a knowledge of the creative forces may be made manifest in self. When these are extended, or come to the social activities, keep that same faith. For, know the body, the mind, the soul is as the earthly godhead of the individual entity. Each has its phase or part to perform, just as all of the activities of the mind, as well as of the body, must coordinate if they would be to the greater glory of their Creator. And this is the purpose of entrance into the earth. Build that which will give the outlet for that thou dost vision within. Before that we find the entity was in the city and the hills and the plains, and the entity was among those of the natives attracted to, the peoples who came from the Grecian land, but not for any good purpose. Some succeeded in undermining peoples. Most did not, but became believers themselves. The entity was among those attracted for their beauty, for their grace, and most of all for their cleanliness. For cleanliness is next to godliness. For he who is pure as an individual should be pure in body, as clean in body also. The entity need never worry about material things. It may worry about them for others, but why worry when you can pray and have it? But you'll have to live like you pray. In thy spirituality don't begin to become one who would run to attain and then not use to the glory of that through which it may be presented. Hence prayer, and more prayer. And as we have given, live toward one another as a nation, as a brother nation to the others on either side as ye pray. Do not pray one way and live another. Be consistent, be persistent. Let thy voice be raised, then, as in praise to thy Maker, not in word alone, but rather in the manner in which ye meet thy fellow men day by day. For the prayer and the living of same by those 64 who are here gathered may even save America from being invaded, if that is what ye desire. All will be broken up, yea, all will seem as but naught. Yet as they who pray live like they pray, there may come healing as this people, this company, yea, this land, gives that hope, increases that faith by their living, not hating. By their loving, not despising, that which is good. Let thy light so shine that others, seeing, may take hope and may walk the closer with the creative force, God. Well that the entity, or all, know that the law of love, or love as law, is cause and effect. Or each impulse has its own corresponding reaction in thought, life, mental, physical and material. Not understood by some. This. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. Each thought, as things, has its seed, and if planted, or when sown in one or another ground, brings its own fruit. For thoughts are things, and as their currents run must bring their own seed. 4. From the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh, and thoughts are deeds. They each build to themselves that which is to the glorification or edification, or resentment built in self. Then act in that way befitting that which responds in self. How may I gain a greater understanding in my evolution than otherwise I am doing? Do not be weary in well-doing. Keep that thou hast. Follow in that thou knowest, and as given it is step by step. Do not be impatient. Did I come here to do a specific work? As all have a specific work, so are the activities of self to be in cleansing self's own understanding and enabling others to find the way to know themselves and him. Jealousy, malice, hate, backbiting are not the fruits of the spirit of truth. That which is of the spirit of truth is manifested in patience, love, fellowship, kindness. These cost nothing, yet make returns in dividends in peace. Remember, ye pursue peace, ye embrace peace, ye hold to peace. It is not something that descends upon thee, save as ye have created, and do create it in the hearts, in the minds, in the experiences of others.